Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We have a special treat for us today. We have Rock Thomas. What does this guy not do? He spoke on the stage with Harv Eker, with Tony Robbins. He's made over 60 millionaires. He runs successful businesses. He's a successful real estate investor. He's a well-known speaker. He at events all over North America, all over the world. And I'm just happy to have you on, Rock. And guys, so if you like the content on this channel, definitely smash that like button for Rock. Let's get Rock the most amount of likes ever. He needs over 100 likes. Number 2, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And Rock, if we get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, I'm going to do Cossack dancing on the channel.
Cool. I'm going to help make that happen.
Well, I hope you do. So that's the goal, 1,000 by the end of July. We're at 500 right now, maybe just a bit over when this goes out next week. So yeah, welcome, Rock. I'm so happy to have you here. So, I think number one, people want to know, how the hell did you make 60 millionaires or more?
Well, I think that this interesting thing with coaching is a lot of people want to coach because the feeling of helping other people feels good. But I was thinking this the other day is if you're a good coach, you've had one of two things happen. You've had an extreme amount of adversity or you've failed a lot. You've made a lot of bad decisions and you're like, my God, I don't want people to be as stupid as I was. So yeah. I think I've done both.
And we're going to throw your Goalcast because you had like a number, like you had the most amount of watches ever on Goalcast, right? Like it was insane. That thing just went wild. It was like
100 million.
100 million views on Goalcast. That's insane. So we're going to put that down below so everybody can check that out and see who you are. I mean, we don't need to know about you shoveling shit on this one, but
Well, we talked about it a bit before. I think the Goalcast thing is just a precipitation of me just staying with it, right? You just keep on doing stuff, and eventually you hit a home run, you get recognized, you get noticed, etc. I've been involved with a lot of things.
It's like this YouTube channel, right? Like there's some that just hit. We did a CMHC video the other week and we're almost over 1,000 views on it, which is for me is really good. I'll look back in maybe 2-3 years and say 1,000 views, that's a good hour, right? So who knows?
Right. Yeah. But the helping the people become millionaires is after a while, when you work in real estate, you work in business, you start to see patterns that work and patterns that don't. And then I created a program that's online where people have a community of people that are high-minded and want to have the same success other people want. And, you've run marathons and Ironmans and things like that. When you're with those group of people and you have a common goal, you feed off of each other. Yeah. You see the other person pushing harder, you push harder. You see the person with a great pair of running shoes, you go, where did you get those? So through osmosis, we've created an ecosystem that's online that allows people to tap into other people's resources and then to push each other to success when it comes to money, relationship, leadership, and of course to health and energy.
Yeah. And I know I've obviously been to some of those events, the M1 events. And to be honest with you, I met one of my business partners at one of these events that I was speaking at for you, Mark Loeffler, who opened True Local. We're business partners now because I met him there. He had a great idea. And that's why I love going to those types of events too, because you're meeting young, hungry people. And they're keen. They have business ideas. They have energy. Whereas, I don't know if you watch Matt McKeever, but he's been talking a lot about return on time. And I've told everybody, my goal in life is to be sitting behind a desk. People come pitch me deals. And I'm like real life Dragon's Den, right? That's what I want. And my return on time is going to be immense because I'm saying yes or no for a 30-minute pitch.
Yeah. And you don't have to go out and hunt down all the deals. They come to you.
That's right.
I like it. And you've also referred people to M1, and Jenna Swinwood just became, a little while ago, one of our millionaires, and she's doing great and she's dug in. And so it's about that network. Who do you know? Who knows you? How do you help each other? And let's face it, the general population is trying to survive.
Yeah.
So if you can get into that VIP room in a conversation with people that are going for it and are looking for ways to win and aren't playing the victim, it changes the entire game. And so that's fun for me to work with people that are coachable and hungry to be coached. And they just want the resource or the contact.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest thing with coaching is like, they have to want to be coached, right? It can't just be like, oh, I want to be part of a group. They got to be hungry for success, because there's some of that too. I just want to be part of a group.
Yeah, and we weed those out, Mark. Eventually, you start to see that there's some people that they think just because they're part of a group, they'll be dragged to success. But you're part of a team. You got to do your part. You can't be the missing or weak link all the time, because eventually the world figures it out and they keep on scoring on that right defenseman that is dragging his ass around.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's enough video evidence, right? They're going to figure it out.
Exactly.
In today's world. Wow. I mean, so just talk to us. I know you guys obviously run events, and now you're probably more online. I mean, talk to us about some of the events that you are doing with the M1 crew.
Well, one of the things we've done,
yeah,
for 5 years is we rent these really cool homes. It's going to sound a little pretentious, but multi-million-dollar homes that are in Mexico or Florida or Colorado or Canada or the world. And we all go hang out in these really luxurious environments because we want to, I believe it's important to get yourself comfortable with feeling like life is abundant. Mm-hmm. We bring in a really cool chef. We bring in people to give massages. We organize events. Once you get there, you leave your wallet in your room. You don't touch money, because I want you to have the experience for 4 days that money isn't important. It doesn't exist. Yeah. So you come in and you just live your life. Like, I mean, I would imagine that really wealthy people probably don't even carry much money around. They have somebody that pays for stuff for them, or they don't have to pay. They don't think in terms of, do I need $40 to buy myself lunch? They just go in and get whatever they want.
Yeah, that's just a tap.
Yeah. Just think of the mindset difference when it doesn't matter what it costs, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to look at the price. You just order what you want. So that's an experience we create. And then we bring in cool people like you and other people to mastermind at night and to share concepts and ideas, and to prove that if a regular guy like me or you can do it, then maybe somebody else can too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're nothing special. We just maybe worked a little harder or a little smarter than everybody else. Or, I mean, you know, maybe we just went to a networking event and met that one person who can turn our lives, right? Like, that's...
Yeah, and maybe we just stayed in a lane long enough to get good at it and figure out the nuances and figure out what works and doesn't work, and not quit.
Yeah,
not,
I mean, maybe I can put up that meme where that guy is digging and they stops like a foot from the gold, right?
Right. And that's what happens, is people are always looking for the easier path, the shiny object. And what we found is that we really help people get clear on what their skill set is and what they're good at. Some people are really good with people. Other people are really good with numbers. Some people are really, tenacious with following up. Other people are idea people. So when you get people and give people permission to do what they're good at and prove to them or show that other people like them are doing that, then they have accelerated success. And that's exciting for people because they don't teach that in school, right? They don't teach fundamentals. So they come out, they do a job they hate, they're bitter, they spend their money on the weekend to put up with the pain of the week. They don't have money to invest. And then they get to, their mid-20s, 30s, 40s, they're overweight, out of shape, bitter, and they're frustrated.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know money is just one aspect of the things you guys work on. I mean, you guys obviously work on relationships, and I met a lot of your guys through the health aspect too. When a bunch of them did a half Ironman with us, and some of them have gone on to do fulls and that type of stuff, right? And and it was just that we put it out there to the group, and a couple of guys just said yep, and they were like fully accountable, and they went, right?
Yeah. We had some surprising guys that went that I never thought would go and that did it. But I think here's what happens is that people want to be really great. They want to be alive. They want to do cool stuff. But again, most people around them, oh, I don't have the time. I'm too busy. I'm this, I'm that. So it takes somebody that's inspired, a David Goggins, for instance, or somebody like yourself that's sitting at a dinner table and says, yeah, I'm going to run a marathon, or exactly.
Yeah.
And you break You break the limiting belief that, hey, I can't do that. But the reason I'm excited about that, Mark, is because I believe that energy is the edge. And if you are conscious about how you manage the energy of your life, what you do physically and what you do nutritionally, you're going to have more energy to perform than other people.
Yep.
And this is the thing that people don't get. If you suck at all those areas and you can only access 50% of your potential, on the best day, you're only at 50%.
Yeah. Well,
A guy like you can get a lot more done because you take care of your body and your mind.
Well, and even then, like I get out there on runs or I get out there and I'm like, oh damn, I'm done. I'm gonna just walk the rest of the way. And then I go back to Goggins and I'm like, God, Goggins back on the log or something like that. Or, you know, when you think you're done, you're only 40% of the way there. And it's like, oh man, 40%. Okay. And I keep going and I just push through, right? And it's like one of those like, man, like that's only been recent. It's like, how many times in my life have I got to that point where I'm only 40% of the way done and I've stopped because I was like, I'm tired, I'm hurt, I'm whatever, right?
100%. And this is what happens is that when you surround yourself with good books or good people or good conversation, you can borrow their inner narrative so that you're about to stop and you're like, well, David Goggins says, when I have this feeling, I'm only 40% there. I have another gear. Let me go see if I can access that, see what that's like. And then you go access it. You now expanded who you are. My podcast, The I Am Movement, is all about that. The words that follow I am follow you. So if you say, I am tired, I am finished, you're languaging yourself into that limitation. He did the opposite. When it's absolutely excruciatingly painful, I don't feel like I can do anymore, push through it, destroy it, demand more. And it's so gratifying when you find that part of yourself because you become alive and you expand, and we all want to grow. So put yourself into an environment, surround yourself with people that are doing that. And by osmosis, you will become bigger and greater, is my belief.
100%. And by the way, if anybody knows David Goggins and wants to get him on this YouTube channel, that would be amazing. I would totally fanboy that though. I think that's the only one I would actually totally fanboy on that one. That'd be awesome though.
Yeah, total bromance there for me too.
Yeah.
I'm working on that one myself. I think he's under incredible demand right now as he should be. He's done some great stuff and he really has inspired a lot of people.
For sure, for sure. All right. Well, I mean, so M1, you help people become millionaires, right? By putting them into a group of, well, not just, and it's not just financial, it's better relationships, better health, be a better all around person. Because I mean, if you have money, it's just going to exemplify the person you were anyways, right? So it just exemplifies the habits you already had. So you have to create those better habits. So, I mean, M1, I mean, I know that I was in the Go Abundance, which is the next level where like the minimum is the millions, and it's a network of people getting together, sharing ideas, how to grow, expand, that type of thing. And I know that when I was in that group, I know that I mean, obviously that's where we got to know each other a lot better.
Right.
Yet I found that during that time, my business grew more, my net worth, my relationships were better, my health was better, in all those areas. So it's being accountable to that tribe, right?
Yeah, we all want to belong. We all want to find a place where we matter and that we want to be seen. So if you know you're going to bump into, you and I are going to see each other in 3 months. I don't want to be 10 pounds heavier than when I saw you last. So I get to be accountable to my things. Right now, we're doing a push-up contest on an app, and you got to report in every day, or the app takes $25 off your credit card if you don't report in, right? So we do these little things within the group that resonate with what we value. How do you stay in shape? You continually put obstacles in front of you that force you to be in shape. Yeah. And if you don't do it, there's a price to pay, literally in this case, money off your credit card. So, I mean, I always led with the money piece because so many people struggle with money, Mark.
100%.
But really what money does is it buys you time. So we help people do what you do, which is invest in passive income vehicles. And so you have the choice to not have to work all the time. And if you want to work on your physical body, you now have time to go to the gym at 11 o'clock in the morning, right? You can go at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you're not stuck in some job. Yeah. Or if you've got some, I don't know, childhood trauma you need to work through, things that are unresolved, you can now afford to go to India for a week and do a meditation retreat or what have you, because you've organized your finances. A lot of people just never get a chance to do that. So I lead with the money conversation, but it doesn't end there. It bleeds into whatever else anybody wants to improve in their life, what they feel to address, and we can do them simultaneously. But you know what's more important, your arm or your leg? Both of them are.
Both, yeah.
So what's more important, money or health? They're both important. You could argue that health is more important. But here's the thing. When you're in your health garden, be a champion,
Yep.
right? Take care of yourself, eat well, exercise. Then when you go to work, be a freaking champion there.
Yep.
And then when you have some time off and you want to work on your passive income vehicles or write a book or whatever, be a champion there. So
and guys, when you're watching this video, be a champion and smash the like button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Show up after you show up and participate. Play full out. How you do anything's how you do everything, man. Just be a champion wherever you are and be around people that like the same things, and you'll find it easier to succeed instead of having to push away the bad behaviors of people around you. I mean, you know, as a golfer, you golf with people that are great and you end up picking up good habits.
Well, it's either that or they come down to my level and it's not pretty.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, I mean, a lot of people know, a lot of people don't know, like obviously you were on stage with Tony Robbins. What was that like? Share that. Like that, it's been a while, but.
Well, I mean, what happened was I was actually doing really well running my Remax franchises years ago. And I think two things happen when you get a lot of money, you can invest it or you can party. And I partied a little bit too hard, and I found myself not taking care of my mind and body. And so I was looking for answers. I went to a Tony event, and that's where I realized that there is actually, you can run your brain haphazardly, or you can actually be intentional about it. You can be intentional about the inner conversation and tools and strategies, et cetera. And I fell in love with his content and with his ability to get me to do the things that I wanted to do better. And I quit cold turkey, all the bad habits I had, just like that. And it was so impactful that I just went on this journey of doing now 74 events with Tony. I've worked out with him in his gym in Fiji. I've been in Italy on a boat with him for 8 days with 38 other people. I've had a lot of proximity to him. Today, he's so huge that that's not really that possible anymore.
Yeah.
But his 42 years he's been doing this, the first event he ever canceled in 42 years, ever in 42 years, and he averages about 150 to 250 talks a year. Think about the math on that. It's thousands and thousands of talks. The first event he canceled was because of COVID-19.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean, a lot of people, right?
His resilience, his tenacity, his unflappability, his desire to be unstoppable, his standards, his tools and strategies and nuances are so committed and dedicated that you just surround him and you're like, oh my God, my standards I got so much room for me to step up. And that's what I love being around him, is he reminds me of the next level. And I try to do that with people around me. Sometimes they think I'm a dick because, I push hard and I challenge them and I question whether they have more, they're at that 40%. I know they're at that 40%, but they think they're maxed out.
Yeah. They can't see it. You can, right? Outside looking in.
And sometimes I'm not the most elegant at saying it, and I'm a little bit in their face and they're like, okay, he's a dick. But there's other people that respond to it.
I get that a lot too. I don't know how.
But I think it's because when you've been down the road further, or you have, hundreds and hundreds of doors like you do, and you're like, look, guys, it's possible, right? Just get started. You don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. And it's the little things. So you want to wake people up. Sometimes I just want to wake people up.
Well, and it's like, well, how bad do you want it? I mean, we had Mandy Branham on here, the JV queen, and she's like, I'm going to be a real estate investor. Great. And they didn't have that much. They started off with $250,000. They have 150 doors now, all through most 90%, 98% of them through joint ventures. and she basically started networking with people, and then she grew an email list, and she was blasted, and she's all over social media now. So she has joint venture partners she's never met.
Right.
And I mean, for me, that's even uncomfortable for me. I've never, like, I know all my joint venture partners, right? And yet
Right.
that's like, she's grown that into something more and bigger and a business. So.
Well, you know what? People have to dream a little bit bigger. I think they have to think a little bit bigger. And then, like you said, just get in the game, get your first couple of doors, realize that, you know, it's not that complicated. Or if you want to do something else, like write a book or something, just surround yourself with people that are doing it, and you'll see that there's so much opportunity. I think right now with what we're going through, there's so much opportunity for people to have accelerated.
You mean like something like this?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I mean, I don't consider myself, I don't think you either. So I you know, we consider ourselves pretty average Canadian guys. You know, our golf game is not the greatest. We're, you know, we're moderately good looking. You're a little bit better looking than I am with that hair.
That's probably true. I do need a haircut though. I think I can get one this weekend. It's open Friday, so yeah. I might keep it a little longer and make a man bun. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Comment down below if I should have a man bun. I mean, I'd love to see you with a man bun, Rock.
I would love to have one. Have the capacity to have one. Yeah. Yeah, it would be good. I'd look somewhat Indian, you know, with a man bun. Yeah. But I mean, just, you know, it's not that complicated. I wrote 3 books, and you know, if you told me 15 years ago I'd be an author, I would have said, you're out of your mind. I'm dyslexic. I can't spell very well. So whatever.
If you had talked to my grade 9 English teacher, they would have told you I would never write a book either. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. Tony tells a story once of his teacher would tell him in school to keep, you know, to be quiet. You're talking too much. You're never going to learn anything. And then like 10 or 15 years later, there was this high school graduation that they went to, and all the teachers were in line, and he walks through, he sees that teacher, he shakes her hand. He goes, I guess that talking thing worked out pretty good for me, huh?
Yeah. That's good stuff.
So, I mean, find your lane, find people that are going to help you. Real estate's a great thing. If you don't have the system, you can do like I did, is buy a franchise, buy somebody else's system, right? They've figured out what works and what doesn't work. You'll pay a royalty like I do of 5 or 7% of the gross, but then you're given a system in a box and you're helped along the way. And that has led to a lot of opportunities, meeting other cool people that have allowed me to trickle into other businesses, getting deals for flips and things like that from agents in my office. So get a few different kind of things going, and they may spill over into each other.
Yeah. And just for the note out there, because I don't know how much of my audience is Keller Williams or not. I mean, Rock is with Keller Williams now. He owns the Keller Williams franchise in Montreal. So if you're an agent in Montreal watching this, you should definitely hit up Rock and see what his team has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, we are accelerating the growth of agents in our market center and their sales, et cetera, because we are, you know, your business will not grow more than you grow personally as a person. Yeah. And Jim Rohn said that quote a little bit more elegantly than I did, but we all know it's true. And people that struggle, there are a few people, by the way, that may do really well in business, but the rest of their life falls apart. They're 42, diabetic, overweight, divorced, bitter. But yeah, they're making $600,000 in real estate. There are people like that. If that's what you want to be, then don't come visit me, because we're a little bit more interested in the whole life approach.
Yeah, and you know, $600,000 a year or something, and they're working, you know, 100
That's
hours
all they do. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. They have no life.
I mean, I know that person. I was that person. So
yeah. And there's other ways around it, right? When you put the right systems and models in place and you learn how to hire and delegate and all that kind of stuff, you know, a lot of people in real estate feel like nobody can do it like them, and they can't hire people because they don't have the right process to do it. But just look at, like, did Gary Keller build a business because he couldn't hire anybody? I think he hired a few people.
Yeah.
Right?
He made a few key hires, at least. That's for sure.
Just a few.
Yeah.
So, and he's a good example of somebody that didn't just stay in one lane. He built this business, and then he started to become a best-selling author. He didn't just write about real estate. He wrote about, you know, he's got a great book called The One Thing, that could totally change your life. You probably have it somewhere.
I have it. It's apparently this is the we're going to talk about all these books today. Yeah, the one thing.
I wish I could say I could see the titles so that I could, but no, we're just talking about because we have the same thought processes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't see them on the shelf. No, they're blurry back there.
Yeah, but that's the key, right? Is get into something that you're really good at, and then other things will come from it. I'm a podcaster now. I have a YouTube channel. I'm an author. I've got online coaching. I've got 35 streams of income. And I was joking with people because of COVID. I'm down here in Phoenix and I have orange trees in the backyard. I started picking them. It's the first season here. I didn't know what I didn't know. And then kind of being quarantined, my neighbors weren't picking their oranges. And I'm like, that's a resource that's being unplugged. That's an asset not being used. So I knocked on the doors and I'm like, do you guys not pick your oranges? And they go, nah, we got like 6 trees. We never get to all of them. And I go, would you mind if I pick some? And they go, no, have at it. So I calculated, Mark, I've picked 8,000 oranges during COVID, freshly squeezed them all, and have organic, freshly squeezed orange juice every day and will for 6 months. And at the average cost of $1 an orange, I have another stream of income called $8,000 worth of oranges. And that's what entrepreneurs do, man.
At least you're keeping busy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, people argue it's not the best use of my time. It isn't, but here's what I do. I would do squats while picking them up off of the ground. I would do pull-ups in the tree while picking them up. I found ways to cross the different exercise possibilities with picking them up and then being in nature in the fresh air and then squeezing them while watching a movie in the background, staying active.
So what you should be doing is squeezing them while you're watching my YouTube channel.
That'll be next season.
And smashing the like button and
yes, smashing the like button and calling all my friends and telling them to join too. So it's exactly what I should be doing. Next season, count on it.
Next season, yeah. Good stuff. All right, well, I mean, Rock, thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. I know that every time I get together with you, I learn so much. And I learned more today. So guys, if you liked it, comment down below. If you got questions for Rock, we're going to put up his social media as well so you can get in touch with him. Go to his IM movement, check out his Goalcast. And guys, see you in the next one. Have a good one.
See ya.